17. A person is sitting in the car and moving their hand.
With no threat of a lawsuit or litigation, insurance companies make lowball offers and they can do. Not a mistake. You need the help from experienced attorneys at Find Legal to navigate the complexities of insurance law on your behalf. Great, you're saying, but how much will a personal injury attorney cost? This is a good question and the one everyone asks. Experienced personal injury attorneys work on what's called a contingency basis, meaning there's no payment up front. Our attorneys only receive compensation when they win your case for you. There are zero out-of-pocket costs. Our legal teams work for free until your case is won. To make things even easier, you can contact us any day of the week, any time of day. Here's a recent example of a settlement we received for our client, Kevin. He was rear-ended by a semi-truck that was following too closely on his way to work. After the accident, Kevin, like many of our clients, didn't feel severe pain until several days later. He began to feel discomfort in his neck and lower back, as well as aches from the seatbelt and airbag deployment. He was unable to work, needed a new car, needed compensation for lost income, and a substantial amount set aside for future potential lifelong treatment for his injuries. The opposing party's insurance pressured Kevin to accept a $10,000 offer, as that was his car's value. However, they made no offer to remedy his injuries or the future pain and suffering he would experience. The settlement we obtained for Kevin after he became a client, $450,000. We can help you put your life back together after an accident. Find Legal attorneys fight to get you the maximum compensation for your accident. Historical data has shown that auto accident victims that work with an attorney receive 3.5 times more in compensation than those without an attorney. A quick call with our legal intake team will get you talking with an attorney that specializes in accidents. We're available 24/7, 365 days a year. Connect with us to have your legal questions answered and find out what your case is worth. When you've been in a car accident that wasn't your fault, you won't be suing the other person directly. You'll be going after their insurance company. The opposing party's insurance have their own legal teams whose sole purpose is to minimize the amount they will pay out for your accident. Without a legal professional working by your side, you'll be going up against legal insurance teams that have decades of experience settling cases for next to nothing. They'll try and make you doubt the merits of your own case and pressure you to set the lowest compensation possible. They know they're going to have to pay something, tricks and games to minimize this amount. If you've received an offer from an insurance company for your accident claim, do not sign it before it's been reviewed by your own personal injury counsel. Once you accept an offer, you sign away your ability to make any future claims for compensation. A lot of times, just walk away from car accidents, thinking their injuries are not that severe. But after a few days, the pain slowly starts to build, eventually becoming unbearable. Many that hate doctor visits or don't have strong health insurance skip treatment altogether. Do not do this. Treatment for your injury, as well as the medical documentation, strengthens your case. If you've been injured, it's imperative that you contact us immediately. Our attorneys can guide you through the process of getting the right treatment for your injuries and even help you find the right doctors. Oftentimes, medical care can be a really simple process that gets you back on your feet quickly. But we also want to make sure a more serious injury isn't hiding beneath the surface. Reach out to us now so we can guide you on the path to full recovery and help you get compensation for your pain and suffering. So how much is your car accident case worth? This is a great question, and one that's almost always asked by our clients. The amount of compensation you'll get from a car accident depends on several factors, including the severity of your injuries, the extent of the damage, the long and circumstances surrounding the accident. If the accident resulted in serious injuries, such as broken bones, term treatment, or even permanent disability, compensation would skyrocket. It's important as much evidence as possible to build a case and accurately determine the value of the claim. This you will need an expert team to help you with, and may include statements, CCTV footage, dash, police reports, medical records, and other documentation. The compensation depends on the specific circumstances of each case and the experience of your. It's imperative you consult a qualified attorney who can help you navigate the legal process and maximize the amount. So what I want you to do is click the link below and either call us directly or 15-second form. Will connect you and with a top accident attorney. Time is important. The longer you, the more your could shrink. Act now before your ability to make a claim completely disappears.
Person is sitting in a car and using a phone.
We need to understand that our name, our possessions, our profession, what constitutes our ego, doesn't define who we are. The Tao says that which can be named is not the Tao. As soon as you place a label on someone, you reduce your estimation of that person to the expectations that label implies, even if that person is you. Taoism, however, doesn't discourage us from having goals and pursuing them, and instead asks us to not get too attached to the ideas or identities we create, because when we're attached to something, we hold on to it, and holding on to anything beyond its due time means we cannot let go of it, and so we're in opposition to the flow of our life. Many people, for example, go all their lives proudly attached to the job position they hold. They might have had one of the highest earning and most respected positions in their firm for decades, but their whole world comes crumbling down the day they get fired. This happens because we can't let go of our narrow self-identity. Instead of looking at the unity of all things and how we form part of a greater whole, we end up reducing ourselves to a mere job title or physical trait. We came into the world without any preconceptions. We had no concept of race, religion, or social class when we were born. It is only when we grow older that we cling into these things, even believing they define us. We segment ourselves into groups and shun people who don't fit into the same bracket as us. The Tao Te Ching says, forget the rules and flow freely in whichever way life takes you. We need to realize that we're already connected to everything in our lives that we think is missing, such as love, happiness, and inner peace. We align ourselves properly to find it. Lao Tzu teaches us that we are like an onion, and we must unpeel the different layers of skin to become free. He says, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. Once we become free, especially of the ego and false identities, we find all of the things we'd been longing for flowing into our lives in abundance. Number 2, dare not to be first. Lao Tzu tells us that all streams flow to the sea because it is lower than they are. Humility gives it its power. 5 long months. I'll see you soon.
One affordable ticket for the trip you always wanted to take. Make life count. I miss you. For life in real life. FlixBus.
This part is not the same thing as being turned on. Blood flow handles mechanics, but arousal, that starts in the brain. So Blue Chew is a game changer because it triggers the brain and the body so you actually feel the passion. It's the only arousal boosting 4-in-1 that's worth trying in 2026. So get the only tablet that tackles both. Go to BlueChew.com for 10% off and free fast shipping.
Humility is one of the 3 jewels of Taoism, along with compassion and simplicity. that we are all just a small part of the great oneness. We can imagine ourselves as a collection of rivers that are all tributaries to a single stream of water. Despite the apparent separation between the different rivers, they're all connected to the same source. This source is the Tao. If we apply this analogy to our lives, we'll find that much like the individual rivers contributing to that same body of water, we too are all a part of a greater whole, and we're governed by the universal energy common to all of us. In the hyper-competitive rat race we all call modern life, we very much neglect this wisdom.
Awesome.
We all desperately wish to be the first one to do something or to go somewhere, but often that is too great a risk or requires more time and energy than is reasonable, as we are going against the foe of life. Also, competing and challenging others in order to be first can upset or offend them, and people often react badly to being challenged this way, sometimes even violently. Our efforts and struggles towards our goals creates an internal sense of value that often bears little resemblance to how valuable that goal is in reality. As a result, we become too hung up on labels and titles, social status, wealth, etc., so that when we achieve our goals, it naturally boosts our egos to a stage where we end up looking down on people who aren't on par with us. The truth is, no matter how much one competes and thrives, none of us are really self-made. Ask yourself, how much of your life have you earned? First, our lives depend on our parents. They feed us, protect us, and nurture us, infants. Did you earn it? No. Then, in your life, you had teachers who helped you learn to read and write. Clothed you, a community that provided food, clothing, and entertainment. As an adult, you relied on your parents to school and so on. So now, as an adult, how much of your life has been earned? Nothing. Hence, your life is a gift from everyone but you. You are where you are because of the benevolence and compassion of others. Hence, you cannot look at someone less fortunate and think that they earned their position while you earned your higher one. And therefore, you have no right to an ego. None of us have earned our keep. Humility, or not presuming to be at the forefront in the world, is the only truthful way to relate to the world and to others. It isn't a weakness. It's not a tool to get what you want. It is reality. There are different ways one can practice being humble. One of them could be taking a walk in the evening and thinking of everyone around you, your family, friends, your neighbors, work colleagues, and so on. Now think about them without the labels or wealth. Consider what issues they may be facing. Some may have a troubled married life. Some may be struggling financially. Others may be struggling with addiction. Think of ways you can help them without any expectations. If you begin to see yourself as part of others' lives, their problems will become your problems. But, by the same token, their joys will become your joys.
Thank you.
Number 3. Let go of your desire to rush things. According to Lao Tzu, he who rushes ahead doesn't go far. We've all had those moments of being in the zone, where our actions happen almost subconsciously, and what we're doing just flows with no friction or conscious effort, like a well-rehearsed dance. In Taoism, this paradox of being in sync without any effort is known as Wu Wei, translated as effortless action or non-doing. Wu Wei is not so much about doing nothing, but is about zone, the world around us seems to slow down. And in that space, it is as if we become one with the very thing that we're trying to do. Take, for instance, the example of trying to fall asleep. Despite our best intentions, the more we try to force ourselves into a state of relaxation, the harder it becomes. Rather, it's much more helpful to simply let go.
You got kids? Even if you were not driving, you need to try this.
Because if you were in a car accident in the last year, you could be owed a large cash payment and not even know it. Even if you weren't driving, all you have to do is click the link in this video, answer 5 simple questions about your accident, and see if you have a case that could be worth money, like this, or even like this. If the accident wasn't your fault and it happened in the last 12 months, you could be owed a lot more than you think. And this doesn't just apply to drivers. If you were a passenger in an Uber, walking, riding a bike, or on a motorcycle, you may still qualify. Most people never check, and insurance companies are hoping you don't. So, don't skip this. Click the link and see what your case could be worth. People all over the country have already received checks for tens of thousands and sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they did it without going to court. That's because there's money already set aside for accidents like these. For example, Stacy didn't think her accident was a big deal, but after checking, she ended up receiving $90,000.
Oh my God!
And if your accident wasn't your fault, you may be able to get money for time you missed at work, medical bills, pain and suffering, damage to your car, and you don't have to pay anything up front. You don't have to fight insurance companies, and you don't have to deal with lawyers trying to take advantage of you. Checking is easy. Just click the link and answer 5 quick questions. It takes about 30 seconds. Most people think whatever the insurance company offers me is all I can get. That's not true. That's what Jessica thought too. The insurance company told her her injuries weren't worth much, even though her medical bills kept going up. Then she found auto relief assistance, and she ended up getting 5 times more than what the insurance company first offered. Final was $72,000.
We did a settlement for $72,000. Oh my! Are you serious?
If you're even a little curious what your accident could be worth, click the link and check. Here's what happens next. Within minutes, an accident analyst in your local area will call you directly to review your accident. They'll determine right then and there if you have a case. And if you do, they handle everything for you. No chasing paperwork, no arguing with insurance companies, no out-of-pocket costs. You just sit back and wait to get paid. Some cases can even settle in just a few short months.
Look what came in today, $72,000. You heard that right? That's literally life-changing money for me. Just to be clear, I did not do anything special to get this check. I just followed a couple simple steps. All I know, I was injured in an accident that was not my fault, and I had insurance when it happened. So if that sounds like your situation, let me show you exactly what I did. I clicked on this site, I answered a few quick questions, and requested a free case evaluation. After I submitted, literally within 2 minutes, I was called by a case analyst area.
To see if your accident qualifies, click the link below and answer the 5 questions. Now, some people feel uncomfortable doing this. They don't want to cause problems. They worry it feels greedy. But this isn't about greed. If the accident wasn't your fault, you should be paying for it. Insurance companies will keep the money if you don't speak up. You have the right to see what you're owed. Now imagine what that money can do for you. $10,000, $50,000, or even $100,000. Bills paid, a safer car, less stress. That's what this is really about. One last thing you should know. There's a time limit on accident claims. In many cases, you only have about 12 months from the accident to take action. After that, the chance is gone. No reminders, no warnings. The insurance company keeps the money. So if your accident happened within the last year, don't wait. Click the link, answer 5 simple questions, and see what your case could be worth while you still can.
All you have to do is just fucking, what you call it, go to work and go to the store and what you call the owner has, what you call maintenance workers. That's dumb.
accident I almost forgot about. I'm honestly shaking as I record this. I never imagined something this big could come from an accident that felt so small at the time. If you've been in any kind of vehicle accident in the past 2 years, even if you think it was minor, even if you were just a passenger, you might be entitled to far more than you realize. Here's my story. I was stopped at a red light when, bam! A distracted driver slammed into me from behind. My neck felt a little stiff, but the car seemed okay. We exchanged info and I drove home. Big mistake. Over the next few weeks, the pain got worse. I started missing work. My car developed issues that I hadn't noticed right away. The insurance company tossed me a tiny offer and basically said, take it or leave it. I almost did. Then my sister's boyfriend Marcus told me about something called free case evals. He said, dude, just answer 4 questions. What's the worst that could happen? At first, I thought he was exaggerating, but he had used the exact same tool after his own accident and told me it changed everything for him. So I clicked the link, answered 4 simple questions, and in less than 30 seconds, it told me I might actually qualify for a real settlement. I figured, yeah, right. But I had nothing to lose. A couple of months later, I was holding a settlement check that was dozens of times higher than what insurance first offered. And here's where it gets crazy. I shared this tool with 5 people I know who've been in accidents. My coworker Diana, just a passenger who thought she had no case. She ended up with a life-changing settlement. My neighbor Kevin thought his accident from over a year ago was too late. It wasn't. My cousin Ashley, a bike accident with a car door. My buddy Ryan swore it was too minor to matter. He was wrong. Even my mom's
fucking gay. That's crazy. He's an adult. These enemies are right there. Yep. Yeah, that's fucked up. Yep. Rest inside. Beyond fucked up. Yeah, you need over people to sell meth. That's fucked up. That is fucked up. That is fucked up. Officers do shit. Fuck that shit, man. That's why I am angry. I am. It's wrong that I got a unit over people that sell meth. I'll fight. Not my problem. It's wrong. That I received a unit over people that sell methamphetamine. Period. You can fuck people. There's no one I can hear. The person is moving their hand near the camera.
Name for this? Auditory pareidolia, which is hearing words of voices in random noise. Ah, so is this a bit like that Yanni or Laurel discussion from a few years back? So there was this audio clip and some people heard the word Yanni and others heard Laurel. Yeah, that is right. Well, there's a new version of that exact kind of debate that I want to play to you and Michael. So, Michael Money, what word did you hear?
I mean, that's clearly green.
Uh-huh.
Over 100,000 citizens virtually.
Animals to get loaded. The first day I moved to the Vamba Vintage, Sabrina ordered Dale to damage my expensive vehicle twice, redoring it. The first day, I moved to the Vamba Vintage. Sabrina ordered. Tammy. Restitution. So what's your order? Let me hear her. Let me hear her. Yeah.
Lazy bitch.
What's inside?
Doesn't want to be accountable.
Scared.
Calm down, Andrew. On it.
Still. Whoever's inside there, that's an evil bitch. They do drugs, they will. That's crazy, man. Get killed, I get killed in my vehicle. Okay. 7:45, 8:45 p.m. So I don't care at all. 7:45 p.m., 8:45 p.m. 7:45 p.m., 8:45 p.m. 7:45 p.m., 8:45 p.m.
Alright, fuck that crazy bitch. Alright, come on, Eric. 2200. Yep. Come on, hurry up. 4620. 4620. 4620.
Whatever it is.
Yep. Bobby, I don't want to get killed today. Fucking place. Where the fuck are they? Nice.
Correct. So, yeah.
Choose half. Yeah, what's that retard? That talks. Actual genuine. The fucking dude is a fucking dumbass. That's a retard, man. The big. What you call it? See if we could take. See if we could take down this big game, and that's actual and genuine. That's a fucking dumb person, dude. I don't care. That's what I already said, dude. Why doesn't he just say it? Why doesn't he just say it? What's it called? That's the cold truth. Stupid fucking dude. It's a fold. That's actual and genuine. Well, because life's so much. It's a fold, dude.
Jesus Christ, that's why Hobby was killed. Scared.
especially less potent cocaine. It's less potent cocaine.
Fuck. Time.
Cocaine is synthetic chemicals. Very cheap.
Not care. You're an adult. Just whiskey to for peeps. It's just make her crazy videos. Fellow people. Oh, it's on the wall. Almost visible. Nothing to avoid. That's all I got. That's all I can do. That's that stuff. Yeah. Avoid. Fucking cowards. Kinda crazy. But so I gotta put it there. Fuck the Mac. I don't give a fuck. I don't even get Mac dudes. song, sir. They're done. Bad stuff, Howard. Yeah, I'm not gonna mix it up. I used to work crazy. It's bullshit. Makes me angry. I didn't do nothing.